Solid waste. What do you understand by solid waste? Remember, yesterday I mentioned there are two ways garbage exits from your house. How? One way, drainage, that we call it as sewage, and the other way in which the waste exits your house, dustbin, isn't it? And when you dump the waste in the dustbin, that is called as solid waste. And in the cities, it is called as municipal solid waste. So what are all the parts of municipal solid waste? Vegetables. So basically, can we classify the entire thing as organic waste, which we call it as wet waste? Is that classification compulsory for you right now? While discarding the waste, how do you discard the waste? You just go and throw it off on the road. Then, for them, anything which is little bit wet, that is food residue that is left over, that is, what do you say? Wet waste. Dry waste andre? Plastic, so many other things which are not biodegradable. Again, there will be debates at home whether a particular waste is wet or dry. How about these leaves? Leaves which fall down to the ground. If you have a tree nearby your house, there is a debate whether that is wet waste because it's not wet. It's dry. Dry leaves fall to the ground. So whether is it wet or dry? You people, after environment class, you should say anything which is biodegradable will be classified as wet waste. Anything which is non-biodegradable. Example could be non-biodegradable. Plastic, metal waste. Then cloths. Cloths ಹೇಳಿ ನೋಡೋಣ. Cloths biodegradable, non-biodegradable. Two types of cloths are there. One is something which is made up of pure cotton. Those are the clothes which can easily undergo biodegradation. Then clothes and tapandra, where will you put them? This is the debate. Okay, forget it. Then what else will be there non-biodegradable? Broadly, glass waste. That's a very good example. Glass waste, then metal waste, then plastic waste, then e-waste, which is a very prominent type of waste nowadays. Why? There has been an increase in the use of electronic gadgets, isn't it? How do you discard them? Is there any proper measure? You have any old phones of yours? Hale phone idya ನಿಮ್ಮ ಹತ್ರ? How do you discard if at all you want to discard? You won't discard. Even if it is not working, you will keep it with you. And do what? You will give it to the kids to play. Come on, tell me what you will do. Or let's say you have an earphone, you have a Bluetooth, or you have a mouse which is not working. What you will do with that? Roads. You'll throw it on the road. Then dustbin. When you throw something in the dustbin, where does it ultimately go? In the dump yard, these what do you say? Mouse and squirrels and other things which kind of stay over there in the dump yard. They kind of intake whatever the constituent of those electronic gadgets are. And these constituents of electronic gadgets have heavy metals. You know that? Remember I said heavy metals yesterday? Heavy metals are dangerous, isn't it? So ultimately, it affects the life. And also these heavy metals from this e-waste get leached into groundwater. And when it gets leached into groundwater, ultimately when you extract that groundwater and drink, you have consumed that groundwater. So e-waste is problematic because it is what? Having these traces of heavy metals. Yes or no? Use ಮಾಡ್ಲೇಬೇಕಲ್ವಾ? Without heavy metals, do you think you can make this e-waste? They are used in the making of this e-waste. Is that clear? And there is one more type of waste, particularly when it comes to solid waste, that is hospital waste. If you visit a hospital, hospitals should actually be transparent about their waste disposal. If you want, you visit any hospital and you can ask them, you can verify that if they are properly disposing their waste. Why is it important? It's not the question of degradability. The question is about the spread of pathogens. According to one survey, it was found that the highest number of pathogens in the entire world are found in hospitals. Alva, when do you go to hospital? First of all, if you are healthy, will you go to hospital? Probably, ಯಾರೋ admit ಮಾಡಿರ್ಬೇಕು ಅವಾಗ ಹೋಗಿರ್ತೀರ ನೀವು ಹಾಸ್ಪಿಟಲ್ಗೆ ಅಲ್ವಾ? So, hospitals, which are the source of pathogens, hospitals are the, what do you say, source of diseases. How the waste has to be treated is quite important. Yes, hospital waste. What are all the constituents of hospital waste? Tell me. Used cotton, bari cotton use ಮಾಡ್ತಾರಾ? Needles, syringes, ಮತ್ತೆ gloves, ಮತ್ತೆ glucose powder, bandages, masks, surgical masks, ಮತ್ತೆ we are only looking at those things. How about the samples people give? Blood samples, urine samples. When will you give your blood sample to test? When you have some problem, when you have some disease. How it has to be treated? That is the question. Hospital waste has to be treated carefully. You can't discard it however you want. These are the measures to be taken. One of the toughest job, if at all you get IAS, one of the most challenging positions that you might get is BBMP commissioner. If you clear IAS at a very early age, you can reach there. BBMP commissioner ಆಗ್ಬೋದು ನೀವು for a Mahanagara Palike. And if at all you become commissioner, your life will be so miserable. Because handling that is not so easy, And the ones who collect waste, if they have so much knowledge, why would they be collecting waste? Alva. So they don't have knowledge about how to treat this waste. You have seen people who will collect waste and they kind of dump it together and burn it. Burn ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ ಗೊತ್ತಾ? Waste ಬೆಂಕಿ the huge fire would be lit up. And it releases all kind of carcinogenic chemicals into atmosphere. And without our knowledge, we breathe that and we say we got cancer, but I did not do anything. I have not smoked, I have not done any bad habit in my life, but still I got cancer. And the reason for that is the lifestyle, your waste disposal system, and so many other things. Do you get it? First of all, an idea. So can you note this down? So under next solid waste. Sorry, you can note down 3 types of solid waste. First, municipal solid waste. What is this municipal solid waste? It is the household waste. Hospital waste. Hospital waste andre swabs, syringes, bandages. Swab andre gottalla? You gave your did you ever give for COVID test? Or how did they collect? ಮೂಗಳಿಗೆ ಹಾಕಿದ್ರಾ ಸ್ವಾಬ್ನ? ಅದೇ. Next, swab, syringes, bandages, lab cultures, urine and blood samples. What is that important thing about hospital waste? They might be infectious. They are highly infectious, has the potential to cause serious threat to human life. See, understand one thing here. Whenever we are discussing about these different types of waste, By the way, we will also note the next one, that is e-waste. Before that, it's important how you treat the waste. Each waste has to be treated in a different way. Organic waste has to be treated in a particular way. And all those dry waste which we classified, they have to be treated in a particular way. And e-waste in particular has to be treated in a different way. Is that clear? Yes. Which we will understand in the next topic, that is waste treatment. How do we treat the waste? But before that, you note down third type, that is e-waste. What is e-waste? It refers to electronic gadgets and hardware that has exhausted its life. We Indians have this habit, very bad habit, of not discarding anything properly. You come to our homes and you can find gadgets which are some 20 years old, 25 years old, antiquity. We maintain this antiquity, isn't it? If you go to a household in USA, they'll buy one TV. Immediately, next year a new TV comes, they will kind of sell that off or keep it on street. Someone else will take that TV and they'll buy one new one. Do we do that? No. That TV should ultimately exhaust its life. Andre, last bit of life, we'll pull it out from that TV. Phone also. Nodidiralva, henge phone, vadado chindi chitranage. Only then after it says, please leave me, I'm dead, done mele ನೀವು ಬಿಡ್ತೀರಾ ಅಲ್ವಾ? That is one common thing. And with respect to other resources also, resourcefulness of Indians. Example I'll give always, toothpaste. When do you discard toothpaste? After you have squeezed that last bit out of that, isn't it? ಕೊಟ್ಟು ಬೇರೆ ಮಾಡ್ತೀರಾ? Oh my God. Cut ಮಾಡಿ ಅದು squeeze last bit out of it. That is something which is Indian. And do you think that is bad? That is actually good, no? Why do we have to waste that? Resourcefulness alva. Andre, if you like kind of, is it something proud to say that I have discarded half the toothpaste? No. Because at least you have saved some damage to the nature. Indians in that sense, actually Prime Minister Modi, he tries to like project these aspects of Indians, resourcefulness of Indians. How the lifestyle which we are living actually is good for environment. Per capita consumption of plastic in India is far lesser compared to Western countries. You know that? Western countries, they consume a lot of plastic. And in India, we are not like, because of our resourcefulness, we consume less. But still, when it comes to penalties, Western countries say India also should pay the same amount of penalty. Now, why should we agree for that? We are not going to, first of all, harm the nature. Most of the time, our lifestyle is aligned in such a way that we are good with nature, isn't it? But still, do you think there are no problems in India with respect to pollution? There are problems, isn't it? Okay, we'll see what those problems are in a while. In the meantime, have you heard of antibiotic resistance? I just want to discuss this topic. Antibiotic resistance. See, when you enter these hospitals, there are some things, there are few, pathogens called as, have you heard of them? Super bugs. See what happens sometime, if at all you get a fever, what you will do? If you will go to doctor, what he will suggest? Paracetamol. Let's say paracetamol won't reduce your fever for 2 days. You said something. Okay. Antibiotic. Antibiotic, should it actually be given to you? Antibiotic only kills what? Who's going to tell me? Bacteria. How about virus? Virus, it can't kill. But does the doctor test before giving antibiotic? All your blood samples, all proper test madi, will he send it to the lab and finally get the report and then give you the antibiotic? what he will do? He'll prescribe an antibiotic. 2 times you'll go to doctor. Like sometime, like let's say in around 2 years, you get fever twice. You go to doctor, and doctor will do the same thing. You will realize one thing. Next time, if I go to doctor, he will do the same thing. Then what you will do? You had your old prescription. You went to the medical shop, and you will buy that antibiotic yourself. You became doctors. But over a period of time, actually, you don't know how many antibiotics to take, whether you actually have bacterial infections or not. And ultimately, you start taking these antibiotics. Next time, when you really get this problem, those antibiotics won't work. Because that bug would have gotten resistance to the antibiotic. Those bugs are called as superbugs. And these superbugs are being evolved from in the hospitals. So they have to be treated properly. Polio virus, there has been new strains that are discovered of polio viruses, which are, not even working for these vaccines or even for this, what do you say, highest drugs that is there. Polio virus, barta irodu. So polio, which was eradicated, possibly might come back. The virus is going to come back really strong and hit you. Possibility is there. So it is very important to see how the hospital waste is discarded. Now we will actually come to the methods of waste disposal. First method we will try to understand: open dumps. What are these open dumps? This is generally how waste is treated in India. What they will do, they'll collect the waste from your house and they'll find one place nearby to the city, outskirts of the city, where especially these, here also casteism is there, a lot of casteism with respect to waste collection. Do you find any upper caste guy collecting waste? Most of the time, it is the scheduled caste groups who collect the waste. In a survey, it was found 99.9% of the waste collectors are from scheduled caste. And also, the disposal of the waste in the outskirts of the city is around the places where scheduled castes are resident. Because they don't have voice, they can't raise their voice. And they themselves are involved in this waste collection business. So, open dumps are the places where the waste is collected and it is dumped. It is not treated, nothing is done to it. Simply they will dump. What is the problem with this? There are a lot of problems, by the way. First of all, doing this is the biggest problem. What might be the consequences of this? Bioaccumulation. Why? Because these rats and other things eat it and you eat the rat. No, hold on. My question is, that waste they will collect from your house. They will take it in this lorry, BBMP lorry irutalva. That where they will dump. ಅಲ್ಲ ಅವ್ರು ಅದನ್ನೇನು ಎತ್ಕೊಂಡು ಹೋಗ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಅವ್ರ ಮನೇಲಿ ಇಟ್ಕೊತಾರ. What they will do? They have to dump it somewhere, no? I'm asking where. Have you seen such grounds, dumping grounds? Yes, there are these very big, extensive grounds that are there where, especially these slum dwellers, these drug addicts, those people kind of make it their home. Because nobody will go there. That is the reason. And this the concept of segregation of dry and wet waste, which is there. I have given this example many times in class. So like, what happens initially, there was this new zeal, andre we should segregate this dry and wet waste anta. The eggshell, motte sippe, is it dry waste or wet waste? Debate idu. Again, we don't know whether we should classify it as dry waste or wet waste anta anbutta. These kind of debates were there at our home. Then we were like, no, this has to be segregated here. This has to be put there. The other dustbin, they had given 2 dustbins also, one green color and one brown color. Alva? No. BBMP only had given, you should particularly do it segregated. A new commissioner had come, BBMP, at that time. And with all those debate and everything, we kind of classified, we segregated that. And we took that waste separately to the guy, Unige. When we gave it, he mixed that. Then he was like, sir, what is sir? Yangidru ನಾವು ಅಲ್ಲಿ mix ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ. But now what BBMP has done, for that, they have separated the days of collection. Few days wet waste is collected, few days dry waste is collected. Only one day in a week, I guess. Dry waste can wait, it's not going to decompose, it's not going to smell bad. So it is very important when it comes to open dumps with respect to segregation of the waste. Because if you like dump plastic waste, it is okay. I'm not saying it is healthy for environment, but I will say it's okay because plastic won't do anything. But if you put plastic together with this wet waste, what will happen? Plastic will provide an exact proper base for that wet waste to decompose. And to feed on that decomposition, you have bacteria, you have rat, you have flies, and you have all kind of nasty animals. And ultimately, that will provide breeding ground for even mosquitoes. Mosquitoes, what they will do? They will come and bite you. And when they bite you, they will carry that pathogen. House flies, you have seen? House flies, what they will do? They will sit on that, and ultimately they will come and sit on your food also. They have carried that. That is the problem with respect to open dumps. Now, how can you overcome the problem of these open dumps? You should not leave the waste in open. So you have to kind of cover it. How do you cover it? What I'm going to do, I'm going to dig a hole or dig a pit in the ground. Yes, I'm going to dump my waste over here. All that waste which I used to dump in open, I'm going to dump it over here. The same field which you mentioned, what I'm going to do, I'm going to dig a pit and I'm going to dump my waste and I'm going to cover the pit. Yes. Now, don't you think it is going to reduce these mosquitoes, flies, other pathogens which might, form here? This type of waste disposal is called as landfill. Second type, landfill. Hold on. I'm going to make you write that. But before, try to understand try to identify the problem here. What else might be the problem? Even with kind of covering that. Yes, the pollutant might still leach underground. It can reach groundwater, isn't it? How can we prevent that? I am going to add some plastic layer here, or I'm going to cover it with concrete. Basically, I'm going to cement this layer. Simply speaking, I have cemented the bottom, I have covered the top. Yes, such type of landfills are called as sanitary landfills. Now, what can I do with this sanitary landfill? After having this landfill, what can I do over there? Like, should I not use that land at all? Yes. On top of this landfill, you can construct this park. Alva? Athwa simple things like parking lots. Parking lots can be constructed on top of this. Yes, first of all, there is fight for parking space. How can you effectively dispose the waste and simultaneously create this parking lot or parks, playgrounds ಮಾಡ್ಬೋದಾ on top of this? Yes, that is one way. But what is the problem with respect to sanitary landfills? First of all, it is costly. For a country like India, landfills and sanitary landfills are not easily affordable. Then what is easily affordable for us? Open dumps. That is why we are dumping. Third type of waste disposal. This can easily be a question in mains. Actually, I was speaking to someone yesterday and that person was saying, sir, we have not done environment and ecology in mains. There is no separate environment and ecology for mains. It is the same for both prelims as well as mains. It is not like it has some descriptive, for example, governance, polity, that is different for prelims and mains. And if you consider economy, that is different for prelims and mains. But when it comes to environment and ecology, science and technology, and things like in geography, there is not much difference between prelims and mains syllabus. If you have to attend mains, I mean, like if you have to attend prelims, obviously you should know the descriptive explanations also for these topics. Do you get it?